Afternoon. I want to welcome everybody to today's Meet the PGH team event. My name is Dave Decker. I'm one of the account uh, representatives here. Um, and I just want to say, first and foremost, we're very excited to be able to come to support members of the Ronco organization. Now, with that, we recognize that sometimes change can be challenging. So we are very interested in meeting with you and also helping you through these challenges. And that's sort of the point of what we're trying to do today. Let's break the ice and let's kind of get you started on the right foot. So just to give you a little bit of background, we have a history working with phones, and we've kept that foundation in heart, but we've actually expanded into much, much more. So you're going to hear a little bit about that as we move forward. With that, I want to introduce one of our founding members and managing partners, Greg Peck. Greg?
Thanks, Dave. Good morning, everyone, or I guess good afternoon now. Thanks for taking the time. We put this together just because, like Dave mentioned, through the transition, there was a little bit of confusion at times. Who's PGH? What happened to Ronco? So we're going to touch on that a little bit today. We're also going to just do a little bit of an introduction to the team and a little bit more about us as a whole. Promise it won't be a long meeting. Our goal is really just to share some information and make things a little bit more personal. All right. So won't read this to you, but who we are in short, like it says, we're more than just phones. We are an IT company. So for many of you, we've already done introductions. We've had a lot of good conversations, and we're absolutely here to help support you today the same way you were supported in the past in regards to your phone needs. However, we did want to mention that there are other areas that we can help with. Probably most of you have talked to Tony Gomez here more recent, and he's told you about our hosted phone offering. And really, we're making sure the communication's there to realize as you look to maybe make changes in your technology in the future, to consider us for that hosted offering. With that mentioned, we also cover a number of other services, which we're going to talk about here. Before we do that, I wanted to introduce you to some of the members of the team. Obviously, we're going to have the entire group here today, but my business partner, Bill Weiser, helps head things up from a IT service perspective. Derek Geisler, who's also joined us in the room, helps head up the sales department. Dave, who initially had introduced us, is one of our account managers. Chuck Cooper, to my right, slightly behind me here, helps handle our strategic alliances. Mike's going to be talking in just a little while, but he heads up things from a help desk standpoint. John Straight is kind of Tony's partner in crime, we'll call him. He's doing a lot of the hands-on phone work. Tony, who you all know. Jody helps handle everything from a billing perspective. So if there's ever a need to talk through that information will be shared as well. And then Nicole heads up our marketing and has been doing a lot of this here today. Wanted to just share, I won't go through the whole list, I'll let you take a look at it, but these are some of the other folks on the team. These are the members that you may talk to as you call in and work with our help desk. Just put some faces to some names for future calls. So, past that one. One of the things I had mentioned previously on the last slide was our services. So as you think about PGH and what we can do from a service perspective, and Mike's going to dive into the service side a little bit deeper, we just wanted to go ahead and quickly outline some of the other areas in which we can help manage services. So we do both fully managed and co-managed solutions. So if your organization has an IT department, we can work in conjunction with them. If your company doesn't have an IT department, that's something we can help with. Security, obviously a huge talk point for everyone. That's something we focus on. Business continuity going hand in hand with security. In the event there is something that an encounter that you need to fall back on, a disaster plan or a business continuity plan, we can help with that. Also, cloud computing. Everyone's talking about the cloud. It's, again, another area where we can assist. Business communications, that's the introduction from Ronco. That's what you were using Ronco for. That's what we'll be supplying to you now, is that business communications. And just to expand on that, we are an Avaya business partner. For those of you who still have Nortel, Nortel was acquired by Avaya, so by default, we are an Avaya/Nortel partner. As well as I mentioned, we do have our own hosted offering. And lastly, compliance. It's a huge area, whether you're HIPAA, PCI, there's many compliances that we assist with as well. I mentioned a few times now, but just to kind of pinpoint it in one slide, many of you are thinking about hosted, especially with the pandemic. There's a lot of work from home. There's a lot of remote needs. Maybe your old phone system just can't do that, especially the older Nortel systems definitely can't do that. If you have an IP office, maybe you have some flexibility. But we have an additional offer, a 3CX solution that is extremely, as it says there, simple, flexible, and accessible. It allows you to work anywhere, any device. So you want to use your cell phone, your smartphone, your laptop, a desk phone. We can help talk through that. Our goal today is merely to mention the things we can do, not to get into a deep sales presentation, but more of an overview. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and hand things over to Mike. Mike's going to give you a little bit of a rundown of the service department.
Thanks, Greg. So one of the nice things about our solution here, we have multiple ways to get a hold of us. You have live answer. We have a call queue. We call in 724-888-7007. You can get first available technician to give you a hand. The next is via text. You can text in, go into our ticketing system as well. Have email, help with PGH Networks, and we have a desktop app for some of our MSP clients. You can actually open a ticket through that as well. So across the bottom of the last slide, it did say business hours are 8 to 5. What happens if I have an issue after 5:01? That does happen. You can still call in, and we have a live answering service that will take your message and relay it to our on-call technician. We have a whole queue of guys, so if for any reason that they aren't able to get that call, it has a fallback. If you email in after hours non-emergencies, you'll get a ticket created still, and we'll be contacted the next business day. So just kind of like a little overview of the ticket flow. Call in, you get a tier 1 support live answer, hopefully first call resolution, and tickets closed. This could be phone, email, or chat. So what happens if I don't get my issue resolved in that first call? We'll send you an email to schedule some time with a tier 2 technician. You pick a time that works best on your calendar. We'll hopefully get the issue fixed on that, and then you'll get an email confirmation. Hey, we're good to go. If there's any other issues, let us know. And of course, we have a classification system here. So we have our first level here. It's green. It's considered change order. So, I have a new employee or that's taken over an existing phone, name change. Maybe if you're an MSP client, it would be, hey, can I get a new user onboarded? They're starting on Monday. So we're building email accounts and doing things like that to get you all squared away. Next, hey, I'm having some issues. I can work around it. That's a medium classification. As examples here, this email is bouncing back when I try to send it to somebody. My scanner's not working. You can still do your job, but it's just slightly inconvenient. So that's a medium classification. High is more urgent. Wi-Fi is down. Multiple people are impacted. A lot of people can't do their jobs. And then critical, of course, full outage. We need somebody now, need assistance, and we escalate accordingly based on those criteria.
Thanks, Mike. So, like I said at the outset, we weren't looking to make this a long call. We wanted to just do a little bit of a more formal introduction, being there was many clients in the Western PA area. Some we hadn't had an opportunity to do an introduction to. we wanted to have just this short call to give a little overview about us as a company and how our service department's available. With that said, we are going to open it up to Q&A. If you have a question, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll go ahead and read those and field them as needed. While we're waiting, Tony Gomez is on the call here. Like we said from the outset, as we work through the partnership, I worked with the owners of Ronco just to maybe explain a little further as we wait.
Some props for Tony there.
Tony rules. Yeah, we agree. We shouldn't have him on this call so he isn't here too much at once, but we love having Tony as part of the team. He's really fit in as a great asset for us. Really has become one of the group. Sending out service. Yes, absolutely. So what has happened, and this is where we understand some of the steps along the way, some of the planning wasn't quite as smooth as we had hoped. When I had worked with the team there were certain scenarios where it wasn't as smooth as we would like. But yes, absolutely. What's basically happening for those of you who've already transitioned over to PGH directly, and or those who haven't yet, basically the agreement with Ronco was if your agreement ended sooner. So as in we took over in November, if your agreement ended November through September, we would have already hopefully reached out to you to basically offer you the same service at the same price, and I like to say with the same technician. So you will have Tony available to you as well as the team here and what we've shown you on the slides. So if we haven't spoken to you yet, and we'll take a note, that was I think Aaron who had the question. We'll go ahead and set up a time to reach out, review that. Also, we've received all the agreements from Ronco. So Ronco's provided those previous contracts. We'll go ahead and mimic those agreements, the service offering. The other popular question that has arose, especially for the IP office users, we have IPOS. We paid Ronco for IPOS. If you paid Ronco for IPOS, what will happen is either at the end of that agreement, if it happens up until this point, we'll just go ahead and renew it through PGH. If you've paid further in advance beyond next month, Ronco will actually then send a credit back and we'll rework things. But ultimately, there'll be no price difference there, or I should say, no money has been lost. If you paid for it and it goes to a period in time, we'll do the transfer. We'll work with Ronco and Avaya on your behalf. Any other questions? We'll pause for a few moments. Okay, great. While we're waiting for some more questions, want to make sure we introduce Chuck. He's been sitting quiet, so let Chuck say a quick hello.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you virtually. And we look forward to developing the relationship and helping you meet and exceed your IT and communication needs moving forward.
Thanks, Chuck. And two, so Chuck and I are probably the two main folks that'll be reaching out. So whether you hear from one or both of us, we'll be working through just making sure those of you who haven't signed up yet, we'll work through that process. And those of you who have signed up with us already, will continue to kind of work through the relationship, the needs from an account management standpoint. Ultimately, we may introduce you to, specifically to Dave or Derek at a later point in time as well, depending on your needs.
Any list you can email out for contact info?
Yes. So as far as that goes, we'll go ahead and write a note down. We do have a welcome letter. In that welcome letter, it will give you an overview of pretty much the same content we shared here today, meaning the email address if you didn't get it, the phone numbers, the text message numbers, as well as I believe it outlines some of the different key contacts that we mentioned as well in this meeting, along with the email addresses. So we'll definitely get that to everybody that was on this call. Any other questions? We'll give just another few minutes.
Hey, Greg. I just wanted to mention, this is Derek. Wanted to just quickly mention that if you are interested, we do have another up and coming event on 10/5. We will be reviewing cybersecurity best practices for small to mid-sized businesses. And we have one of our vendors, Blackpoint Security, joining that event. If you are interested in that event, please reach out to Nicole. You can send it to marketing@pghnetworks.com, and Nicole will get that event reminder out to you so that you can register. Should be a very good event. Should take about an hour of your time.
Thanks, Derek. Yeah, great point. We do also have regular events that are happening throughout the year. So besides this specialty event for the Ronco base, to Derek's point, we're doing a cybersecurity event. And usually on about a quarterly basis, we are having different information sharing, educational opportunities. It's really a big focus for us as a company is training and education, right? We can put all the technology we want in place, but sometimes without the right training or education, it's not as useful. So doesn't look like there's any other questions. We didn't want to hold you too long. Hopefully today was helpful, at least a good introduction to the team. We'll be sharing this information out with a follow-up, and please don't be shy to reach out. Thanks, everyone.
See everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.